gentlemen, are you ready?
We have not learned anything very much, right? So we just so that it goes in the recording, we have skipped the alter modification data type. We have skipped the truncate part also, and we are directly going into the insert, DML insert, right? DML stands for data manipulation language. We are manipulating. That means we can insert, we can update, we can delete rows inside the table. And the first thing which we are learning is your insert, and this is the thing which we have rotated here. Insert into table name and then values. This is the first row I'm inserting. Now, what is the difference between your DDL and your DML? In your DDL, if you have created something, you cannot create that again, right? If you have dropped something, you cannot drop it again. All these things you were able to run it only once. In your DML part, all these things you can run it again and again, as many as time. There's no restriction. Why? Because a table can have thousands of rows also, right? And the rows can also be same, exactly same. There's no restriction in duplicates, right? If I have ran it once, it has inserted one row. If I run it, let's say 1, 2, 3. 3 times I have ran it now. How many rows do you think you will have it now? Only one? Okay, let's see. You have 4 rows. What is happening in here? Again, unlike your DQL, DML is also a permanent change on your table. DDL is also a permanent change. DML is also a permanent change. DDL, you can run it only once. DML, you can keep on running again and again. We are saying, when I ran it for the very first time, it inserted one row. It was a permanent change on the table that it inserted one row. Then when I ran it 3 times, it inserted 3 rows again, right? This was the first time when I ran it, and then I ran it 3 times. Okay. So again, if I take this and ran it 2 more times, 1, 2, how many rows do you think you will have now? 6 rows you will have it now. Okay. Run it, and now you will have 6 rows. Because you keep on inserting the rows into your table. Okay. If you want to insert multiple rows together, that also you can do it. And if you want to insert, like, let's say different values, right? So if you will write comma in here, and then again you will write bracket open, bracket close, and start writing the second row. Let's say the second or the next row, which is 2. Or you can write anything else also in here. This is just a number. You can write any number in here. But employee ID after 1, employee 2 will come. And let's say I'll give any other name to this. Now, if I run this, and if I run it only once, how many rows do you think you will have it now? 8 rows will be there, with 7 times 1 Ashish will be there, and 1 lastly you will have 2 Rajat. Right? Got it? Everyone is able to write it. Everyone is able to get the table at least created. If you have 3 rows, 3 columns, you will have to write 3 values in here. 1, 2, and then 1 more comma, and then write 1 more thing. You cannot skip anything here. Okay, let's see if you guys are able to create it. Select star. Done. Error. What is the error? Column count doesn't match value. Okay. So some of you guys might get this error. Column count does not match. Why it will happen? So I have in my table, I have how many columns in here? I have 2 columns. But if I don't pass in 2 values, let's say if I pass in value like this, Something like this. So I'm only passing one value, one column value, but in my table I have two columns. That's why it will say, if I run it, it will say column count does not match. Or if I pass in more than two values, which is something like this. Again, the answer will be, error will be same. Column count does not match. You should be sure that if you have two columns in your table, you should pass only two values. Okay. Okay, you are able to insert it. Sorry. You are able to insert it, right? Done, right? Yesterday. Okay. Good. Right. So can you open your table? Select star from your table first. See, you have four columns in your table. You will need to insert four values. One Ashish and something, two more all. You have EMP ID, EMP name, salary also you will have to enter, or department also. Okay. Right. Values are repeating because if you run it twice, it will duplicate the value, right? I'll tell you how to remove the duplicates afterwards, but for now, if you run it twice, you will have the repeating values. Right. Done? Yeah. So you have to only put semicolon only once. Its semicolon is meaning this particular thing has ended. To put semicolon in here, that means this has ended, and now you cannot start anything with bracket, right? So new row should be at only one comma. Same error, right? In here also. Okay, no, this is fine. Oh, so you have inserted QC semicolon is here. This is wrong. This is also wrong. This is also wrong. You can insert one row like this also, but if you want to insert three rows, there was no need to write the whole this thing again, right? You can write comma. So you see, there are so many things which you can remove. In here, again in here, comma, again from here to here, remove it, right? This is fine. Insert it. Again, it says column count does not match. You are inserting one, two, three, four things. Your table has how many things? One, two, three, four, five. Okay. EMP ID, EMP name, salary is also there, address is also there, but bonus you have not included in your list. So you will have to include your bonus. You guys done? Done? For you, it's not done, right? You have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven columns you have. So seven things you will have to insert. Done? 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 Don't just write it for him. Explain also if you want to write all. You guys are done? You came late. Yeah. Today's first thing is your insert. Yes, we started with this only. But yes, you are almost correct. Once you ran it, it's running. No, not like this. If you run it like that, right, the whole thing will run from the top to bottom, which is not good. Okay. The way you should write it, only highlight that part and then run it. It's still running error because EMP table does not exist. Yeah, there is no table, EMP table. And you did not create the sample table, sample database also. You have to create, yeah, you have to create sample DB, then sample table. Yep. Yesterday? Okay. 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 Right. It will be null in that case. You can update, but we will not be learning update today. There is an insert, there is an update, there is a delete. If you want to delete anything, you can delete it. You can insert anything with this part. Update is also there, but we will not learn update today unless we'll learn it at the very end. But this is the normal case, yes. See guys, now I have two columns. I have inserted those many values. Now if I insert third column, the values will be null for the third column for every row. So let's say if I insert third column, which is alter table add, let's say bonus only, right? In my EMP table. So EMP table added. Now if I say select star from EMP table, bonus is null everywhere, which is correct only. Okay, because I have not inserted bonus anything, right? If I now insert, I will have to insert three things. Okay, if I want to insert for these ones in here, already existing one, I will need to understand what is update, which we will not learn it today. We'll learn it afterwards. But insert, at least you should know what is happening in here. Okay. Comfortable with insert, right? All right. Now we have some data in our table. Let's learn truncate first. Okay. What is truncate? Truncate will help you remove everything from your table, but table will not be removed. Columns will not be removed. Only the rows will be removed. It will remove the data from your table, keeping the structure as it is. So truncate table and table name, which is EMP table. That's it. Three words which you have to write. Okay. Once I run these three words, I run it. And now if I say select star from EMP table, I have my table empty. Okay. But the table is as it is. The column structure is as it is. Only the rows were removed. And that is the only thing in truncate. Okay. Nothing else. There's a question which comes up. What is the difference between truncate and delete? Very frequently asked question, but once we learn delete, then only we'll be able to understand what is the difference. Sorry? Truncate query. Three words: truncate, table, table name. Okay. So I'll insert few more rows again because we have to learn about modification of data type, right? So let's say I'll insert this. Oh, right now again it says column count does not match because I've added bonus, right? Let's say I get bonus of 1,000. I'll have one more. Bonus of 5,000, whatever, right? So I have this table now. Okay. I know that the EMP ID is your integer in here. EMP name is your text. Bonus is again your integer. Right? Making bonus integer, it makes sense because I might want to multiply it by something or divide by something or add or minus something, right? Mathematical operation. This will only be text. Your integers can be text also and your integers also, right? Because I can convert this into a text also, but I cannot convert Ashish into an integer, right? Ashish is a text, so it will be a text. It cannot be multiplied by something, right? Again, EMP ID can be an integer, can be a text. If I want EMP ID to be a text instead of an integer, I can again modify that data type. Okay, because I don't want to do any multiplication on this. Okay, so what I will do again, I'll say alter table. Table name is the common thing which we have. So alter table EMP table, right? Now, depending on your SQL to SQL, it will change, but in your MySQL, you have to write modify column and then EMP ID text. What does this mean? That this column, which was integer, I'm modifying this column and changing the data type to text. Okay, and this will run fine because I can change integer to your text also, right? So if I run this, and now if I say select star from EMP table, now this is your text now. Now you will not be able to do any more multiplication, addition on this. Okay. On this, you can still do it. What if I say EMP name to integer? If I say it like this, it will be an error because it will try to change Ashish into an integer, which it will not be able to do it. So if I run this, it says incorrect integer value, right? You are not able to change Ashish to your integer. You cannot change text to integers, but you can change integer to text. I can again change EMP ID to integer. EMP ID for now is a text, but again, that has numbers only in it, right? So I can change it to integer. And now this EMP ID is also integer. This bonus is also integer. I cannot see it, but I know because I've written it, right? I can do any modification, mathematical operations on these two. That's it. Okay. So we have covered DDL part, data definition language, creation, dropping, modification, and removing all the rows. These are the four things which are there in your DDL. Insert part also we have seen it, how to insert rows into your table. Okay. Which one this? Integer can be converted to text, yes. See, it depends, right? So let's say if in a text, let's say, if these are numbers, these can be converted into a text. And once converted into a text, they can still be converted into an integer because these are still numbers, right? One can be an integer also, text also. Two can be an integer also, text also. You can change the data type. For Ashish, it can be a text only. You cannot change it to an integer, right? You can change it into a different types of text. There are different types of text, which is EMP name, and then you have either varchar or var character or n varchar, right? N char, n varchar. There are different types of text, which I don't want to go into now. It is not as much useful. Rename is just renaming the column name. EMP ID, if you want to write employee ID, employee name, bonus, right? So if you want to change the column name, not the value, right? Then you will use rename. Rename are also two things: rename the column or rename the table, right? So Right. If you want to change data type, then you will use modify column. In MySQL, in MS SQL, it is not modify. Uh, in fact, I'll show you. You see, for modification in MS SQL, you will use alter column instead of modify column. In MySQL, you will use modify column. In Oracle, you will use just modify. In PostgreSQL, you will use alter column, but then you will also have to write type. So different SQL, different small differences out there. You don't have to learn by heart these things. What you will have to learn is you can do 5 things with your alter, and modify is one of the things. What is modify? Modifying the data type, right? You will not remember this after 10 days. So no need to stress about it. Okay. There is no need to learn, or there is no need to by heart this or memorize it. All right, done. Okay. So I'll share you a couple of things now. Try to download it if you can. I'll share it on your WhatsApp. I'll share only 2 things for starters. SQL. Okay, I've shared you 2 things on your WhatsApp. Just confirm me if you have received it. Received it, right? On WhatsApp. Got it, right? Okay. There are 2 things which you would have received. And those 2 things, one is your Superstore orders CSV file. One is your practice select and where. Okay. 2 things, 2 files I've shared you on your WhatsApp. Download it on your desktop. You know how to download it, right? I mean, that is my expectation that you should know. That is what the prerequisite was. You should know how to open laptop, all those things. So go to your WhatsApp web, download it on your local desktop, keep it ready. Why do we need to download these things? So one is your practice. These have some questions in it, right? I'll be sharing you throughout the next days, all these types of practice sessions. What is this Superstore orders? So if I open this, this is a very big data in here, and it has around 10,000 of rows, 9,994 rows to be exact. These many rows you have. Why do you need this big data, right? So you see, we can insert rows, we can create table, we can insert rows. But what we will insert, I inserted my name and my bonus, something like this, right? But I want actual data to work on, right? If I work on a very small data, even if you write wrong query, your answer will still be correct, right? So if you work on this, let's say SQL program is, let's say this, right? If I ask you this question to write, how many customers are there above age 25? To write, so what you will write, where age is greater than 25, right? So people who have written where age greater than 25, their answer is correct. People who have written where age is greater than 26, their answer is also correct. That also will give you 2 rows. People who have written where age is greater than 27, that answer is also correct, right? People who have written greater than or equal to 28, their answer is also correct, right? So how come you can write 4 different solutions and the answer is still the same, right? Because the table is very small. But if you have 10,000 of rows of table, even if small thing, if you change here and there, your answer will not match. Your answer will not be correct. Okay. So for that, we need a way to import this table into our MySQL. I cannot write insert and all these insert rows one by one. Technically, I can do it, but it will take a lot of time. But there is a way in your MySQL software that you can import this file into your MySQL. Okay. For that, you will have to do one-time process and you will have to just follow me, whatever I'm doing. That is not SQL learning. It is just importing of the table, right? That will change with software to software. You don't have to memorize it. But if you have imported, downloaded the file, right? Okay. The first step which you should be doing is click on the database or the tables on which you want to import the file, right? So I'll click on tables and I'll right click. And I'll click on table data import wizard. Right? Table data import wizard. Right? You will not have anything inside this. So click on browse and go to your file, which is Superstore orders, CSV file. Right? Which you just downloaded it. Just double click on this and you will have it here. Okay. Nothing complicated, right? And just click on next. I'll wait until until all of you guys are here. So I just selected that file and it is now here. Downloaded the file. So open your WhatsApp web. Right? Should I show you how to open WhatsApp web also? I mean, in your companies, people might help you in order to, maybe if you are stuck in some problem, but they won't help you how to download something, all those things, right? So that you should figure it out yourself. Open WhatsApp web, download the file, keep it on your downloads or wherever you want to keep it. And then just apply these two steps. What I did, I just right click on the tables in the sample DB, table data import wizard, and I'm here, right? It was not available earlier. I'll click on browse and I'll go wherever the download part is there, Superstore orders, and this is the file which is available. And I'll click on next. Okay, why I see blank faces? You guys should know how to download, right? Yeah, because you cannot do it in your sys. You can only use it in your sample DB. Wait for it. Okay, you cannot import it in your sys database. That is not allowed. That is system database. You can only use it in your only created database. Okay. In here, it says three things. Use existing table, create new table, or drop table. So I want to create my new table, right? So create new table, which database you want to create it, you select that also. So I have only one database, which is sample DB. I'll create it in here. And this is the table name, Superstore underscore orders, right? So I will just remove orders at the end because I will be writing from Superstore multiple times. So I don't want to write from Superstore underscore orders. It will take time, right? Or you can name it as any table name which you are comfortable with. So I'm writing Superstore and I'll click on next. Okay, everyone should be at this place. There is one step which is tricky, and I think everyone should be there here first. Done, right? Okay, done, good. Go next. Don't click next. Remove orders first. Yep, next. Remove orders. Yeah, remove orders. Yeah. Just keep only superstore. And right? Okay. Okay. So you see here in your order date and in your ship date, the type is text, right? Everything else is fine. Row ID is integer, which is correct. Order ID should be text. It is a text, which is correct. Customer ID also text, which is fine because it has a text in it. If you go down, you have a discount as double, profit as double. Double means decimal places. So that is also correct. Okay. The only thing which is not correct here is your order date and ship date because those should be in dates, right? But it is in text. Why it is in text? Why SQL is not able to, or why MySQL is not able to identify it? Because MySQL or date format is year, month, and day, which is YYYY right? But it is in which format? Day, month, and year, which is DD, and YYYY. So it is not able to detect that it is a date. So we have to change it. First step which you have to do is order date. You have to select date time in here. Shift date, also you select date time in here. So both of them, order date and ship date, you select date time, date time. Don't select anything else. Ship mode or order ID, no. Only order date and ship date should be date time. Done? Don't click next. Done, right? Done? Okay, so the next step is kind of tricky. So just follow this properly. Okay. As soon as you would have selected date time in here, you would have got date format written in here. Right? And this date format is, I'll copy and then make it bigger in my Excel. Right? This would be written, right? Percentage Y, percentage M, percentage D. So this is your Python script, which is there. Okay, you don't have to worry much about it. Y stands for year, M stands for month, D stands for day, hour, minute, and second. Okay. Now, the thing is, capital Y stands for the whole year, 2020, 2021. Small y will stand for 20, 21, 22. Right? Only two digits. M stands for month, D stands for day. It is asking us which format your date is available in your data. Right? So our date is available in DM and Y, not YEMD, right? What is the thing which I have to change in here? There is no hour, minute, and second, so I can remove that. Right? This should be small d and this should be capital Y. This you should be very, very careful. There should not be any extra space afterwards. Okay. Percentage D dash percentage M dash percentage Y. Okay. Which stands for day, month, and year. And Y should be capital, D should be small, M should be small. Only this is the tricky part, which I have to copy. And I will paste it inside this area. Okay, or you can change it. I mean, no need to copy paste all these things, but percentage D dash percentage M dash percentage capital Y. Okay. If you have done this correctly, next you have to click on next. And then you have to click on next once more. Now, depending on your laptop configuration or laptop strength, it will take 2 to 3 more minutes to import the file. Once the file has been imported, I mean, it will, if it is importing in, let's say, within 5 seconds, that means it has not imported properly. If it says it has imported 9,994 rows, that means it has imported properly. Okay. Or if it is taking time, that means it is importing. Okay. Let's wait it out for 2 to 3 minutes. Let's see if you guys have imported it. Done. It's importing, right? Yep. Already imported. That means something wrong would have happened. If you go next, 0 recalls imported, right? Let's do it again. Okay. Click on next. Right. Yeah, you also click on next. Next. Yeah, for you also some problem. 0 recalls imported.
Hey Ashish, for me the
Yeah,
data was good.
just a second online, guys. Just a second. Yeah, so for you also it's done. Every time when we import a table. Yeah, it will take time. Depending on how big the table is. You see, if your table is not imported properly, or if you've got any error, then you will have to remove the table, drop the table, and then you have to repeat the steps again. For you also again, it's error. Superstore already exists. Right. Create next. Order date is ship time. Ship date is date time. This is try. This is the next. And next. Windows. You also have any problems? Right, 9,994. Finish. Yes. Once, okay, I'll tell you the last step. Once that is like 2 tick marks are available right now. Once you click on next, it should say 9,994 records imported. If that is done, that means the file was imported successfully. Right, and you will, if you refresh it, you will see the file in here. And if you run select star from Superstore, run it, and you will see the file in here. You will see all the files, all the rows, 9,994 rows will be available. If you don't see all the rows, it might be the issue that by default the limit was put. I have said don't limit in here. By default, the limit was put to 1,000 rows, I think. Right? Limit to 1,000 rows. So just select this and don't limit. Okay, anyone else from? Yeah. I'll come to online guys in a minute. So just wait it out. Yeah, you already have the table, right? So delete this. Okay, wait. Done. Everyone else? Done, right? Showing error. Showing error for no database selected, right? No database selected error. So anyways, now so anyways, you should be comfortable why it is coming. You have to double click on the database. And now if you run it, right, it is again saying limit to 50,000 rows. So don't limit.
So, both date, month, and year, right? But in this,
Yeah, I mean, we have told MySQL that our data is in day, month, and year.
we have
But when data is imported, MySQL will only have the data in year, month, and day. Okay. MySQL will always consider date as year, month, and day. Okay, online guys now. Anyone was having any issues online guys? Someone was having issues, right? Online. No? Okay. All right. So I'm hoping everyone is able to access Superstore table, right? Right now, so we have table. Even if you make small mistake, your answer will be incorrect if I give you any question, right? We'll see what are there in these things, all these columns, all these rows. But before that, let's import one more file. I mean, not import, just open one more file, which is the second file which I've shared you, which is one.practice select and where. Okay. That is just practice session just to get you started. All the questions are easy only in here. How you will open it. So there are multiple ways in which you can open it. One way, which is not the recommended way, is to double click on it. If you double click on it, your MS SQL might open because Microsoft will be given preference. Okay. If you have Microsoft SQL, MS SQL will open. Second way, again, not the recommended way, is to right click on this, open with MySQL, right? This also you will get some issues in here. The best way in here is just click on this second button in here. The first button will open a new file, which is an empty file. If I click on this, a new file has been opened, right? I don't want a new file. I want to open the already existing file, which is the second one in here. If I click on this, and now I can select my practice, select and where, the file which you have downloaded. Double click, and now you will have all these 10 questions in here. You have 10 questions, right? These are the questions which we will be solving one by one. Okay. So what are these questions? So let's say whatever the questions is, at the end you have 58 rows also at the written at the end. That means once you write your answer, you should get 58 rows in the answer. Okay. Let's see the first question. Can you guys do it? Because it's already at the end of our class. We'll solve it tomorrow, but at least the first question, let's see if we first two questions if we can do it. Okay. And then we'll stop the class. Write a SQL query to get all the orders where customer name has A as second character and D as fourth character. So there is a column of customer name. If I run this, I have a column of customer name. So I want the list of those customers where uh, it has A as a second character and D as a fourth character. How would I run this? What should I write? Where condition you have to use, right? So that is main thing. Where, what is the thing which you have to use? Okay, where, after where, what? Customer name, which is column name, equals, okay, like, right? So wildcard, if you want to use, then you will have to use like in here. Don't tell me you forgot all about like, right? Like, then what? Underscore a percentage. This will give me that the second character is a. Underscore d, right? And then percentage. This would be the correct answer. That the second character is a, first character can be anything, third character can be anything, the fourth character is d, and then afterwards you can have anything. Right? If I run this, let's see the answer if I have that correct. Customer name, second letter is A, fourth letter is D. Everywhere that will be the case. Right? How will I know that the number of rows are exactly the same? 58 rows. How will I know that these are 58 rows? One thing is I can count also, but counting is not the best option in here. What should I do? How can I know how many rows are there in a table? Have we learned anything in our grouping section? Aggregations, count, right? What should I write? If I write count star, I write aggregation, which is count, sum, minimum, maximum, without my group by, the whole table will be changed into a single value. And if I specifically write count star, it will count the number of rows in that particular table. Okay. If I run this, I am getting 58. That means this answer is correct. Okay. 58 was the answer you should be getting. And if you write only this, only then you will get 58. Okay. I'll tell you one more question, and then all the other things you will have to do it on your own. Okay. The next question you will require some help because we have not done this type of question. Write a SQL to get all the orders placed in the month of December 2020. So how you will write a particular date? If you want to write a date, let's say if I want to write 1st November 2020, right? How will I write it? I will have to write year first, 2020-11-01. This will be 1st November 2020. Okay, SQL will take this year, take this as a date. If you write 1/11/2020, SQL do not know what is that. Okay. That is one thing about date. Second thing about date is today is 12th March. 12th March is bigger than 11th March, but it is smaller than 13th March. 12th March is smaller than 12th April. Okay, in the same year. Something like this. So dates are also kind of your numbers. They are also bigger or smaller than your previous or current date. So 12th March, it is smaller than 15th March, but it is greater than 5th March. Okay. So all your greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, all these things will work in here also. With this information, can you write this now? So I want to get all the rows where the order placed was in month of December 2020. Which is the column which will have order date? Your order date column. Okay, so you have a column of order date. All right. Now, how to get all the rows which are in the month of December 2020? How would you know whether a date is in month of December 2020? If the date is greater than 1st December 2020 and if the date is less than 31st December 2020, that particular date is in December 2020 now. Okay, how would you write it now? Where order date equals to or something greater than. It should be greater than or equal to 1st December, which is, and 1st December 2020 also, right? How would I write that? 2020 12/01. If the date is greater than 1st December 2020 and order date less than or equal to which date? Which is 2020 12/31st. If the date is greater than 1st December and the date is less than 31st December, that means the date is in December 2020, right? If I run this, this is the correct answer, but how would I know whether the answer, which is 352 rows, I can just say count star. And this, and you will get 352. Okay. I think these two questions are enough for you to solve all the other questions also in here. These are very, very easy ones in here. Try to solve it on your own. Just to get it something which is tricky, one of the answers in here. So this, let's say 944 or this 9815 or this 187, right? All of them are correct except one. At least one of the question is, one of the answer here is incorrect. Okay. So let's see if you guys are able to find out which answer is wrong tomorrow. Okay. Try all the questions, try solving all the questions, and we'll see. We'll do it very fast tomorrow. Okay. These things are very easy. Where clause we have already seen it. This is just for your practice, right? How to write it. Just to get comfortable writing SQL code and running SQL code. Okay.